diet. Get 8 spots, Jada.
Yeah.
Ari's barbecue.
There he is. What is that?
Ari's barbecue is really good.
Ari's barbecue.
All right.
It's a little expensive, but I know you're rich.
Yeah, J-Dub's got the money, dude.
He got the girlfriend, he got the money, he got the...
Dude, yeah, what's up with that? I heard you got a girl now. Alright, so the last time I did the vlog was for the event, so I haven't vlogged since then. Maybe I'll just start making this a regular thing. I wanted to vlog this week because this week is Worlds, PPA Worlds, and as most of you probably know, we have that creator matchup. It's those two bum brothers. Just kidding. It's the Olsen brothers against Braden and I. I was a replacement, luckily for the PPA, because always an honor to have your boy there. I was a late replacement, Kyle couldn't make it. But this episode, I'm going to talk about a recent local tournament where my buddy Jeff and I placed third in the open division, creatine, tips on warming up during tournaments. I see a lot of the same thing, and I personally am not a fan of it. I think it's a very archaic method that people are using. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, so let's talk about the Pickleland tournament. So the Pickleland tournament happened this past weekend on Saturday. I got a call from my buddy Jeff Lee. He hits me up. He's like, hey, do you want to do this tournament? It was 3 or 4 days out from the event. We only got one practice session in together, but I will say we've played it with each other. We've played with each other quite a bit. We have a pretty predictable partnership and like style. Like Jeff is pretty predictable as far as what he'll do. He's one of those guys that is plays very big. He's a very active role on the left side. He's absolute ass on the right side, and he will even attest to that. So yeah, it was the open division at Pickleland. It's a new facility that has opened up in Pflugerville. It's like 45 minutes north of downtown Austin. I think they have 9 courts. Yeah, I think they have 9 courts. But anyways, so tournament day, I love competing. I love tournaments. I love the way it makes me feel. I get like all those nerves and everything. I get super hyped up. So the first match was pretty good. We went against 2 bangers. I hit way too many out balls, and I was just very like in the zone. I just couldn't get out of the way. I just wanted to block everything. But we ended up winning 15-9, I think. Once those guys ended up coming up to the kitchen, we won majority of those exchanges. The second match was against these 2 kids. They seemed very Tennessee. They were definitely in the wrong division. They have all the movements down, but they just didn't really understand the strategy and the kind of the principles as far as like how to play at that higher level. So they're just ripping the ball a lot and either dumping it into the net or it was sailing out. We won that match 15-3. And then the third in our pool, so the pool had 4 teams, and the third match was against Adam and Bryson. This one was definitely going to be our most challenging one. These 2 guys were super consistent and just have they just have a solid style. They're very, very consistent, so it's hard to put balls away. You got to be patient against them. It didn't start off too bad. Like things were pretty even, head to head. And I was hitting some out balls, and just there was by the time it got to like 11-9 or something like that, I missed I made 4 unforced errors in a row, just like silly like volleys, hitting them out, dumping them into the net, not giving Jeff the space. I just played a little bit tight, and we ended up losing that one 13-15. Those guys played good. My style is I like to be a little bit more aggressive, and I like when my partner's more aggressive. I don't like the kind of very predictable, like, dinking back and forth game. I like to pull the trigger. I like to be offensive and just get in those exchanges, and I like to attack different spots. And that'll make sense when I talk about how we face them again when we get to the semifinals. But we made it out of the pool. We were second seed, and we ended up playing the first seed of the entire event. And it's this guy named Isaac. He's been in, I don't know, main draw, but he's made it through qualies. So he's made it through qualities before, I believe. And his buddy Niles, I've played with Niles. I've played against Niles. Niles is super good too. We lost 4-11 and then 6-11. It was 2 out of 3. That was tough. I mean, they're just better in many ways. Looking back, what I would have preferred is to just pull the trigger, especially on a guy like Isaac. Isaac plays very like defensive, like reset counters, and when you give him the balls in the dinking exchanges, then he's able to put that ball anywhere and create opportunities from there. Overall, it was a fun matchup. Anyways, we lost that, and now we're playing for 3rd or 4th place. This one started off rough. We had been sitting for maybe like 45 minutes. I feel like we've been sitting for like 45 minutes, and this match is against those 2 guys that we lost to in our pool, 13-15. So we got into this match, and it was 1-15, and at the side switch, I believe we were down 2-8, and what we were doing just wasn't working. But we were also just cold, and we were making a bunch of errors. But it was during that side switch when I, like, pulled Jeff aside. I was like, yo, I need you to be more aggressive. I need you to be more offensive. And I phrase it like that because you want them to interpret it based on their skill set. You don't want to be like, hey, I want you to pull a trigger here. I want you to do it this way or that way, because they might not have that skill set, or they might not feel as fluid or comfortable doing that. I say that because that is what I expected in my head, but that's not what Jeff ended up doing. Jeff ended up just being a lot more bigger and more aggressive with his presence and his footwork, and then he was also lobbing a lot more, which I actually think is also another way to be offensive. I also cleaned up my stuff. Like in the first game, they drove 2 or 3 balls at me, and I dumped them into the net, were just really bad blocks. This time, every single block was fine, and I got in hands exchanges with the guy across from me. I'm pretty sure I won every hands exchange there, so that felt good too. But yeah, we ended up going on, I think, a 13-point streak to win the match, and we won 15-9. Yeah, Jeff ended up like lobbing a lot more and just mixing things up. They even lobbed us like a couple times before the side switch. Super cool. I ended up using the BreadNButter Fat Boy. There's a much softer paddle than I usually play with. Not necessarily a bad thing, because I felt like I had a lot of control. There were some forehand dinks that I would expect would have gone over, but they didn't. I just didn't give them enough. But a drawback with like those softer paddles is that your returns have to be really dialed in. You have to really have like a good, I guess, like mechanics. You just have to understand like rotating and just like watching that ball really well, because some of my returns were pretty shallow at first. That was cool. So as far as warm-ups go, so I always see the same exact thing done. You and your partner go across from each other at the net, and you just start dinking, and you're just dinking. There's no like variability. There's no one really adding any pressure, or there's no like representativeness to the actual match that you're preparing for. So when I warm up, everything is live. If I'm dinking, they can attack, I can attack. If I put a high ball up, then punish me for it. And this is just warm-ups, right? It depends on who my partner is, but I let them do their thing however they want to warm up. But then when it comes to my turn, I go to the baseline, they stay at the kitchen, and I just work out like 10 points. I just work out like 10 live points in a row. They feed me a ball, and I'm trying to get up to the kitchen, and we play the point out, and then we'll just do that. And then I'll also do serve return third. So we'll try to be across from each other and get your serve in, get your return in, and try and get your third in. Whatever, based on the information that you see, make your best judgment. If you're gonna drop it. If you're gonna drive, do that too. The serve, return, and the drop, making sure that those are all treated as live, just like you would use in the actual match. They're warming up as if they're not about to play a match, and I just never really made sense to me. So now we're gonna lift. I ran 5 miles this morning at like 8 a.m. and now we're gonna do some plyometrics, some lower back, arms, do the landmine for rotation and core, and do some oblique. Also gonna do these Patrick steps. My left knee has been bothering me. If you have like a history with ACL damage or knee damage, or if your knee seems to be bothering you, check out these Patrick steps. These Patrick steps have always helped me. And I know they're used pretty widely for ACL rehab. They're also used for prehab as well. So, all right, let's get to it. I'm gonna keep things a little bit lighter because I have my Tuesday track workout tomorrow with the group. So, wanna make sure that I'm feeling good for that. Those are pretty brutal. Let's take a moment to talk about creatine real quick. I used to take creatine quite a bit back when I was lifting a lot more. Then I kind of stopped taking it, but I'm back on it. I'm not sponsored by these people at all, but I just found this on Amazon. I think the big thing is that's 1, unflavored, and 2, it's micronized. But this is creatine monohydrate. So let's just see what ChatGPT says about it. So creatine is one of the most researched supplements and offers several benefits, especially for athletic performance and muscle health. So you get increased muscle strength and power, enhanced exercise performance, increased muscle mass, improved recovery, support for brain health. Just listening to Joe Rogan talk about this, and I think it was when he was with Elon Musk, but he was talking about the support for brain health. It benefits cognitive function, especially in situations that challenge the brain, like sleep deprivation or intense stress. So I think that's really interesting. Its potential anti-aging benefits, and it's affordable and well studied. I will definitely agree with the affordable aspect. I believe you just take 5 grams a day. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, you will experience water retention and bloating. That's fine, it'll go away. Really interesting stuff. I'm back on it and it feels great so far. It's naturally occurring in meat. And yeah, like I said, it acts as a nootropic in aiding mental performance when you're sleep deprived, and it helps postmenopausal women. So like Chris and Isaac, right? Should really help them out in that area. What's good? What are you doing?
Just showing up, man.
Hell yeah. I just got here like 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
What was that? What was that? That was insane.
Dude, can that guy do that again?